His insolvency had filled his cup of sorrow, and he had gone about since with a stunned, half-dazed expression upon his weak pallid face which spoke of a mind unhinged. So complete had been his downfall that the family would have been reduced to absolute poverty were it not for a small legacy of 200 a year which both the children had received from one of their uncles upon their mother's side, who had amassed a fortune in Australia. By combining their incomes, and by taking a house in the quiet country district of Tamfield, some 14 miles from the great Midland city, they were still able to live with some approach to comfort. The change, however, was a bitter one to all. To Robert, who had to forego the luxuries dear to his artistic temperament, and to think of turning what had been merely an overruling hobby into a means of earning a living, and even more to Laura, who winced before the pity of her old friends, and found the lanes and fields of Tamfield intolerably dull after the life and bustle of Edgbaston. Their comfort was aggravated by the conduct of their father, whose life now was one long wail over his misfortunes, and who alternately sought comfort in the prayer book and in the decanter for the ills which had befallen him. To Laura, however, Tamfield presented one attraction, which was now about to be taken from her. Their choice of the little country hamlet as their residence had been determined by the fact of their old friend, the Reverend John Spurling, having been nominated as the vicar. Hector Spurling, the elder son, 2 months Laura's senior, had been engaged to her for some years, and was indeed upon the point of marrying her when the sudden financial crash had disarranged their plans. A sub-lieutenant in the navy, he was home on leave at present, and hardly an evening passed without his making his way from the vicarage to Elmdene, where the McIntyres resided. To-day, however, a note had reached them to the effect that he had been suddenly ordered on duty, and that he must rejoin his ship at Portsmouth by the next evening. He would look in, were it but for half an hour, to bid them adieu. "Where's Hector?" asked Mr. McIntyre, blinking round from side to side. "He's not come, father. How could you expect him to come on such a night as this? Why, there must be 2 feet of snow in the glebe field." "Not come, eh?" croaked the old man, throwing himself down upon the sofa. "Well, well, it only wants him and his father to throw us over, and the thing will be complete." "How can you even hint at such a thing, father?" cried Laura indignantly. "They have been as true as steel. What would they think if they heard you?" "I think, Robert," he said, disregarding his daughter's protest, "that I will have a drop, just the very smallest possible drop, of brandy. A mere thimbleful will do. But I rather think that I have caught cold during the snowstorm to-day." Robert went on sketching stolidly in his folding book, but Laura looked up from her work. "I am afraid there is nothing in the house, father," she said. "Laura, Laura!" He shook his head as one more in sorrow than in anger. "You are no longer a girl, Laura. You are a woman. The manager of a household, Laura. We trust you. We look entirely towards you. And yet you leave your poor brother Robert without any brandy, to say nothing of me, your father. Good heavens, Laura, what would your mother have said? Think of accidents. Think of sudden illness. Think of apoplectic fits. Laura, it is a very grave response, a very great risk that you run." "I hardly touch the stuff," said Robert curtly. "Laura need not provide any for me." "As a medicine it is invaluable, Robert. To be used, you understand, and not to be abused. That's the whole secret of it. But I'll step down to the Three Pigeons for half an hour." "My dear father," cried the young man, "you surely are not going out upon such a night. If you must have brandy, could I not send Sarah for some? Please let me send Sarah, or I would go myself, or—" "Pip!" came a little paper pellet from his sister's chair on to the sketch book in front of him. He unrolled it and held it to the light. "For heaven's sake, let him go," was scrawled across it. "Well, in any case, wrap yourself up warm," he continued, laying bare his sudden change of front with a masculine clumsiness which horrified his sister. "Perhaps it is not as cold as it looks. You can't lose your way, that is one blessing, and it is not more than 100 yards." With many mumbles and grumbles at his daughter's want of foresight, old McIntyre struggled into his great coat and wrapped his scarf round his long thin throat. A sharp gust of cold wind made the lamps flicker as he threw open the hall door. His 2 children listened to the dull fall of his footsteps as he slowly picked out the wine.